Hello physios. Today we learn on topic on pathologically gaits. What are those and what are these causes and what is gait and gait cycle. You know, the gait. Gait is nothing but the ability to do walk. Mostly we start from our childhood at a time of 1 year. Around 1 year we used to start a walking and you can get coordinated with your muscles and some balance. It may also cause some of this abdominal gait. And what is gait cycle? It is together has stance phase and swing phase, where you can begin with your heel to the ground of one foot and it continues until the same heel strike to the same foot into the ground. So it is called as gait cycle. And some of the types of pathological gaits we can see it may due to pain, it is called antalgic gait or limping gait, or it may due to some neuro problems, any muscular paralysis, it is made due to spasticity. We have circumdactory gait, scissoring gait, dragging or paralytic gait, or you can also call as quadriplegic gait. It may do to any flaccid, lurching gait, waddling gait. Waddling is nothing but duck walking gait, gluteus maximus gait, quadriceps gait, foot drop, or stepping gait. Next, it may cerebral dysfunction. You can call as ataxic gait, and it may has loss of sensation. That is your joint position. That is kinesthetic sensation. It's called as stamping gait. And it may due to any basal ganglia dysfunction, it is called as fascinate gait, or you can also call as Parkinson's gait. It may due to some abdominal deformities, any equinus gait, equinovarus gait, calcaneal gait, knock and bow knee gait, genu recurvatum gait. Due to limb length discrepancy, it is equinus gait. Let's enter into some of the gaits we know. Antalgic gait or limping gait, or it may also call as painful gait. See, this gait is normally occurs to a person and he or she does not want to be stand on the affected leg because due to pain, so they lean some forwards, they used to take some less weight on the affected weight. And what are its causes, like it may due to any disc radiation pain. You can relieve the pain by using some of the canes on the unaffected side leg. Normally in this any gait cycle we divide into two phases, stance phase and swing phase. Stance phase we have 60% and swing phase we might have 40%. So antalgic gait, what happens in stance phase, it has 40% and you are swinging phase it is about 60%. It means it is reverse of that normal gait cycle. This is antalgic gait. And next comes your circumdactory gait. In this, the patient gets affected with some swing phase, so they can lift the leg and move laterally. It means in a semicircular. You can see here picture in a semicircular fashion, in order to clear the ground. Okay, it may cause some of the hip flexion, knee flexion, your ankle dorsiflexion. So in order to clear the ground, so they want to lift up in semicircular. It may problem is in swing phase. It is circumdactory gait. Next, scissoring gait. Scissoring gait is usually seen in some of the spasticity conditions, like in cerebral palsy. It occurs in bilaterally adductor hip muscles weakness. Remember, bilaterally side adductor hip muscles weakness. It means one leg will be crosses on the other. You can see here picture, the child is walking on tiptoe. You can also call as tiptoe gait, tiptoe walking. The child is very difficult to walk on this scissoring gait, mostly in cerebral palsy conditions. Next comes the quadriceps gait. You can see here picture. The person is placing the hand on knee. So you can also call quadriceps gait also has hand to knee gait. Remember. And it is due to the quadriceps paralysis. During what happens at the time of mid stance, your weight will be on knee. So at mid stance, while you're walking, your knee should be get locked, but it won't happen. In order to lock the knee, the patient will keep hand on the knee so that it can be locked up and the patient can move on for the next step process. So this is quadriceps gait. During heel strike and foot flat, there is a flexion of knee joint. This is your quadriceps gait. Next, waddling gait or duck walking gait. What happens in this gait? It is due to the hip abductor paralysis, and the trunk, you can see the trunk will bend towards the stance phase. So in order to prevent or in order to dropping of the pelvis, there will be some dropping of the pelvis in stance phase. You can see the patient is also leaning backwards, and in order to clear up that, you can see the patient get lurches on the trunk. So the patient will walk on the both legs. So it is due to the causes of hip abductors paralyzed. This is called duck walking gait or waddling gait. And gluteus maximus gait is most important. Like Trendelenburg gait is also important. Like when the gluteus maximus muscle getting any weakness, the trunk lurches backwards. So it is due to the trunk of lurching of the gait. In this, there is some biomechanic. There will be a posterior tilting pelvic, and as soon as there is posterior pelvic tilt, your center of gravity move towards your stance phase, and your body will move to the forward at the mid stance. So what happens while walking forward or backward, your movement of trunk also occurs. It is called as rocking horse gait. You can see you're moving forward or backward, your trunk is also moving. So you can also call as like how do you ride your horse, like it is called as horse gait, rocking horse gait. Remember, there will be posterior pelvic tilting and your COG will be shifting towards your stance phase, towards the hip, and your body will propels forward and forward or backward in a fashionable called as horse gait, rocking horse gait. It is due to the gluteus maximus muscle. Okay. Thanks for watching SPN.